We just wrapped up day 24 of the Diddy trial, and it seems as if the jury likely just got their first glimpse of video of Cassie performing in a freak-off with an entertainer that was paid for and under the direction of Diddy. I am Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. I am a New York attorney, and I practiced in this very courthouse. I come here every day to try and give you legal perspective as to how this case is proceeding, how well the state is doing, what type of strategy the defense is employing, how fairly the judge seems to be handling matters, and also to give you a vibe for the actual courtroom. Today is the first time that we are aware of a situation where the jury likely, and I say likely, in my opinion they did, but all we can say with certainty is that they likely saw video from a freak-off. Why do I say that? Well, at a certain point today, we have a synopsis that was coming this afternoon from an investigator who works for the U.S. Attorney's Office, and she was presenting an assortment of different forms of evidence and a synopsis that they put together in a chart and try and break down the different evidence that they're submitting in order to support this timeline, to make it a comprehensible thing. The testimony itself that we get to hear is actually fairly boring, in that it's reviewing a lot of things that we've already seen. There is some introduction of new forensic evidence, such as conversations about setting up freak-offs, or conversations between Cassie and various entertainers that are presented in the form of text messages, as well as flight logs and hotel reservations, to try and corroborate much of the testimony we've heard so far. But as far as introducing new information to the viewing audience, the alternative jury, the ones who have no vote here but are watching this on a day-by-day basis, there was little new information here that seemed particularly poignant, but it does help corroborate much of the testimony that we previously heard. And then we have finally here the potential impact of the jury actually watching a freak-off and them actually seeing Cassie engage in one of these performances. There were 3 different videos that were introduced. The first 2 were each roughly 11 and a half minutes or so. This third one was 39 minutes long. The jury did not watch the entire video. We, in the viewing audience, got no sight of this, nor should we have, frankly. Not only did the only people who were able to see this as it was being shown to the jury was the judge, the witness, and the jury. Defense counsel and prosecution did not watch it while it was happening here, and we could not even hear audio because the jury was given headphones, as were warned by the witness and by the judge, in order so that we wouldn't hear audio from these videos, with them being so careful about it, so careful that they were worried that if they show the video to the counsel for defense and and the state, that we could see from the gallery, we would be able to see over their shoulders into the video that was being displayed. So they took the very unusual step of protecting her privacy, and in my opinion, the proper step of protecting Cassie's privacy by coming to terms with the defense beforehand that when they were showing these specific videos, that counsel would not watch it. They obviously had a chance to review it before the trial started, but counsel agreed not to be watching it while there was testimony going on, and in order to help prevent the gallery from being able to see over their shoulders as to the video that was being displayed. The jury did not watch all 60 minutes cumulative of these videos. It was really, they got like 3 to 5 minutes maximum, where there was just little segments that were shown to them during the course of testimony today. And with the steps that they took, like I said, we cannot know definitively what was being displayed in those videos. However, with the steps that they took, and given the context of the conversation that was happening during the course of the testimony, it seems fairly safe to assume that is the nature of the videos that they were watching. It was in the context of them talking about setting up the freak-offs and setting up arrangements to go to a hotel at a certain time, and the flight logs and the performers agreeing to come down, and the hotel reservations, and here's 3 videos we want to show you. So given that context, it seems pretty safe to assume that was the jury's first view of that type of evidence. Now, what was their reaction? I was not in the viewing room, so you're hearing this third hand, but what I can tell you is from people who were in the actual jury room, in the room with Diddy and the judge. And watching the jury, they said that the jury was quote unquote very professional. They didn't seem to be there was no facial reactions, no sighing or shaking of the head. That they played it very close to the vest as to what, if anything, they took away from seeing those videos. One person said that they could hear sounds of smacking or sucking that coming from the audio. They said when there's 25 people who are playing a video, that you can sort of get some sort of undertone, because the entire room is quiet, that you can get some little bits of audio. Again, I was not there, you're hearing this third hand, but that is the takeaway from those people who were sitting in the gallery of the actual courtroom where that took place. So that's what I got for you today. We're supposed to be back here. The defense, as far as the timeline for where things are working out here, we have a more definitive timeline. We had in that the state says they plan on wrapping up on Wednesday. They have one more witness that's coming tomorrow. After we haven't finished with this witness now. She's the woman who's on the stand, the investigator from the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's supposed to wrap up with her direct and cross-examination tomorrow. We're supposed to have another witness, and then on Wednesday we're supposed to have our final witness who's going to give us a summary of this entire case. And as I said, these summaries can be important in the sense of making it easier for the jury in deliberation to wrap their heads around how this whole story unfolded and why they should or should not convict on a particular charge. And in the state's opinion, the state's the ones presenting the summary. Obviously, they're presenting their best foot forward as to why it is that he should be convicted of all of these charges. I'm Joe Neerman. If this is your type of deal, if you like getting breakdowns as to what's happening inside the courtroom, specifically with the Diddy trial, I urge you to make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Till next time, Godspeed.